What's up guys, Bryan Junior here of DNA and Vargas Productions out of New York, and I'm excited to be standing here next to my new Yorkville ES18P subwoofer, and behind me here, its older counterpart, the Ls801 series. I was in the market this past month for a new sub, and I noticed there were no reviews, no walkarounds, nothing really online, not much information about these things yet, so I figured I might as well put a video together and maybe help the next guy make an informed decision on your next subwoofer. So let's have a look at it. The first thing I'm going to touch on is the obvious, which is the redesigned cabinet. Yorkville redesigned this sub from the ground up. I'm super happy with this. You'll notice it's a little bit slimmer. It's actually 5 inches slimmer on the width. It sits about 2 inches taller than the old Ls801, but it makes for much easier transport. Anyone who's owned an LS series in the past, you know the love-hate relationship with transporting these subs around. They're big, they're bulky, they're heavy. They're very awkward because they're wide. There's no real way for most people to grab them by themselves, so it's usually a 2-man carry. And then the low handle here on the back makes for wheeling these things around for someone tall like myself, especially a long distance into a venue, a real pain in the neck because you're bending over and dragging this thing around. So the new design is 5 inches taller. You'll notice they added 2 handles in the rear now instead of the single handle. It is absolutely beautiful. It's so easy to lift this thing up now and wheel it around. I'm very pleased by this and very thrilled that Yorkville decided to go this route. It actually fit in my van a lot easier, and I typically load these myself, and it was a breeze to load in comparison to the wider one, and I'll show you why in just a second. I've intentionally laid the sub down so that you can see what makes this so easy to carry now, that there are the 2 handles in the back, the handle on each side, but Yorkville finally added 2 handles on the bottom, which makes for super easy loading, especially when you're by yourself lifting this thing into a van. You can tilt it back and then grab it from the bottom and load it up. You never had that on the old 801 series, and like I said, this thing is very awkward and very cumbersome to try to get into a van yourself, especially with a narrow door. Which leads me to my next favorite upgrade on here. Finally, Yorkville stepped up and put urethane wheels on here. Beautiful bearings, beautiful wheels. No more clunky, broken Yorkville wheels. So anyone, again, who's owned the Yorkville knows the Yorkville wheel syndrome here with the clunky, chipped up, broken plastic wheels. We replace these things all the time. You're going into a venue on the hardwood floor, and it sounds like you're dropping bricks down the stairs as you're carrying these things in. This new setup here glides like butter. I actually almost dropped it out of the van because it rolled out so easily that it was I wasn't ready for it, so I had to jump and catch it. But it coasts and glides across the floor so nicely, and again, adding in with the taller ergonomics of the box, it just makes for a breeze to get this thing in and out of the venue. Next, we're going to get into the output. A lot of audio guys tend to hate on the Yorkville series of subs. Rightfully so, as most people know, they're very muddy. They're not very clear, but they are very powerful, and the one thing they do well, better than almost, if not any sub out on the market to this day, is move a lot of air and create a lot of bass. So I really don't care when I'm doing most events about the quality of the bass. Again, it depends what you're doing. Live sound, you might not want this, but most people on the other side of the fence who are dancing do not really care that much about the sound quality of your sub. They just want to feel the bass and dance. So most mobile DJs use these things for that extra thump. We've got RCFs in our arsenal, QSCs, and those who know, there is nothing out there that outputs like a Yorkville 801 and now an ES18. You'll need at least 2 subs of almost any other brand out there to compete with one of these for a mobile rig. Just nobody has mastered the output that Yorkville has over the years with these things. This new model is no different. This thing is clear and clean though. A huge step up in sound quality from the 800 series and the 801 series. You'll notice here on the back, I'm going to get into the panel in just a second here, but there are 3 new modes that Yorkville added to the sub. They've removed the shape knob and they've replaced it with this mode knob. So this allows you to select either punchy, smooth, or deep bass on the back of your amp. and it makes a drastic difference. So it highlights different frequencies. So if you want a really tight, punchy bass, go number 1. You want to smooth it out, which is great for a smaller venue. A lot of times we'll have the sub in a very small venue, and you roll this thing back really hard because the bass is just obnoxious. So you can put that on the smooth mode, and it won't really mess with the original frequencies too much. And then 3 is the deep mode, and obviously does what it's intended to do, is to create deeper notes and deeper frequencies for you. So you'll have your high pass roll off here the same way you did on your old 801 series. You've got your gain, you've got your integrated clip and limiter, so that's still there. The inputs are pretty much the same as the 801 series. You've got your XLR in and out, your mono blend for stereo, and your 1/4 inch. And you'll notice to the top right here is something brand new, and that is wireless control. I'm super excited for this. This is not wireless that you will sync up your phone and play your music through. There is an app reported to be coming soon from Yorkville. I don't know exactly when it's going to drop, but this app will allow you to Bluetooth into your subwoofer, your Elite series, and a lot of other Yorkville speakers, and actually EQ them right through your app. So I'm super excited for that to drop. I keep checking back to see when that's coming out, but there's still no release date as far as I know. Yorkville has bumped this sub up to 1600 watts RMS, 3200 watts peak from the original 15 and 25 of the 801, 140 dB peak output, 134 dB continuous. The frequencies response is cut down slightly from 45 to 43 hertz. I did see a few people complaining on a forum about that, but I don't think, again, that most people are going to notice. That's for the hardcore audio fans. And that's about it. You're going to get your Yorkville 2 and 10 warranty, which is pretty awesome. You get 2 years. Anything you can do to this thing, bring it back to your Yorkville retailer, and they'll make sure that it gets fixed for you. And that is transferable, which is incredible. So if you are wanting to move equipment often or to buy used equipment, that warranty transfers over to the new owner, which is something you don't see a lot from companies. Overall, I think this is a fantastic replacement for the 801 series. I think Yorkville outdid themselves here. I think you're going to be thoroughly pleased with the output, the sound quality, and overall, again, I'm thoroughly impressed with the ergonomics and the new wheels and the little things that are going to help save my back and make my job a lot easier lugging these things around. So you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll try to help you out. I got mine from Alto Music in Orange County, New York, and their website is altomusic.com. But I have seen these things all over the internet. And that's about it. Until next time, guys.